campus protest fallout. Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders calling out Joe Biden and saying the chaos could bring his downfall, comparing it to the backlash over the Vietnam War.
This may be Biden's Vietnam. I worry very much that President Biden is putting himself in a position where he has alienated not just young people, but a lot of the Democratic base.
Here to discuss, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Pete.
This kind of fits with your new book, which we'll talk about in a second. You probably don't agree with the rationale of Bernie Sanders, but do you think his analysis is right? Is this cutting against Joe?
I think his conclusion is right, but for the wrong reasons. He's expressing this concern that it'll hurt Joe Biden. But to me, why it will hurt Joe Biden, his silence around what's happening on our campuses for 9 days, and then the weak statement that he made is the vast majority of Americans want to see a president who will uphold the rule of law, ensure that we can, yes, protest peacefully, exercise our right to free speech, but actually keep the peace. And the fact that President Biden refuses to stand up very clearly against anti-Semitism, for free speech, and calling out the radical Islamist ideology that Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all of these terrorist organizations have been and continue to push on the world, and that we're seeing bearing fruit on these college campuses.
I mean, our generation of Americans, we both wore the uniform fighting against Islamists, and now you turn around and you look in our backyard, and you're right, there are a lot of Democrat politicians these days that just seem completely unwilling. I mean, why can't they call out, say, pro-Hamas sympathizers?
It's one of two reasons, Pete. They're either intellectually incapable of making that argument and waging that counter-ideological warfare against this Islamist ideology, or they're terrified. They're terrified, as Bernie Sanders is pointing out, terrified of losing votes amongst those Hamas apologists, the pro-Hamas mantras that are being chanted. It's a dangerous place to have a leader of our country operating from a position of fear rather than standing strong on our fundamental principles and values of freedom.
Shows you how much Rashida Tlaib, how much influence she has over the modern Democrat Party. Well, that's a Democrat Party that you left behind.
Yes.
And you write about that in your book, For Love of Country. Leave the Democrat Party behind. Share the book. Share why your love of country pushed you out of the Democrat Party.
Well, this is one of those reasons. In each chapter of my book, I go into depth on why I left the Democratic Party. I go into this specific issue we are being confronted with right now in our country about how this radical Islamist ideology poses the greatest short and long-term threat to freedom and to civilization. And I talk about how the Democrat elite, led by President Joe Biden, and why this election is so important. They are threatening and undermining our fundamental freedoms. So even as people may disagree or agree on different issues, now is the time that we have to come together as Americans who cherish peace and value freedom and our country, to put our country first and make sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are defeated this November.
This is no small thing. I mean, our viewers might say, okay, it makes sense for Tulsi Gabbard, but you were a Democrat presidential candidate. You were always a little different than the crop there. But was there a moment where you said, because to stake your claim with one party and then move is a very difficult thing to do. People rarely do that. Was there a moment?
You know, I've always been an independent-minded person, which is why I never really quite fit in that party. But I sought to bring about change in the Democratic Party that would make it once again the party of the people, the party that JFK once led, the party that Martin Luther King was a part of, a party of free speech. That party is completely unrecognizable. And I found, as I was going through as vice chair of the DNC, as a Democratic presidential candidate, not only is the elite of the Democratic Party not interested in being the party of the people, being the party of freedom, they're openly hostile to it. So it got to a point where I could not, in good conscience, as a service member who has taken that oath to support and defend the Constitution, as a member of Congress taking that same oath, I could not be associated with a party that stands diametrically opposed to freedom in the most fundamental way.
And I got to believe you tell maybe a few stories about the inside of that transition.
Exactly. And the seriousness of the threat that we face, speaking from a firsthand experience and knowing there are a lot of people in our country who love our country and who are concerned about the direction that the Democrat elite and Joe Biden are taking us. We have to save our country. No one else will.
I love it. The book is For Love of Country. If you want to leave the Democrat Party or already left, or want to get an insight, check it out. Tulsi
Thanks,
Gabbard.
Steve.
Tulsi, thanks so much.
Nice to see you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.